Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Access, a social media program produced and presented by the UWA Open Campus. I'm your co-host, Cherise Glasgow.
And I'm your co-host, Cleveland Sam. Thank you for joining us wherever you are on the World Wide Web this evening. As you know, the UWI Open Campus hosted its 2021 graduation ceremony on Saturday, October 16th. Today, we speak to two of the recent graduates of the UWI Open Campus as they present their stories, and they also represent their two countries. And you will hear their stories and experiences of studying with the UWI Open Campus.
Thank you, Dr. Sam. This evening, our two guests are Miss Lorenda Johnson from the island of Bahamas and Suzanne Charles from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Ladies, welcome to Let's Talk Access. It's a pleasure to have you on this evening. We are going to let you tell us a bit about yourselves, who you are, and what you studied at the UWA Open Campus. We'll start with Lorenda.
Hello, my name is Lorenda Johnson, and I'm from the island of Eleuthera, which means freedom, here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. My open campus journey, well, it was no small feat, I would say that, but it was one of the best decisions I've made in my adult career. For a while, I had been trying to find a degree program, and my worst case scenario was that I would have to pack up my family and move to Nassau, leave my lovely little quiet, peaceful island and move to New Providence, to attend college. But then I heard an ad on the radio for the UWI Open Campus, and I wrote it down, and then I followed up with the email, and then my journey started there. My journey started there, and it was a smooth transition from becoming an adult with doubts on whether I wanted to start my degree in my late 30s, early 30s, or move into the city. And I think UWI was the best choice for me. And I've learned so much on this journey for the last 4 years.
Okay, great. So good to have you and to know that you did enjoy the journey. Suzanne?
Okay, good evening to everyone. I'm Suzanne Charles from the lovely country of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And more so, I am residing in the Grenadines, specifically Union Island. I'm a teacher by profession, and I love children. I love young people. I'm a Christian, and I enjoy and love to deal with young persons. I love counseling. I have a passion for social work, and that's why I would have chosen the field of social work to study with the UWI Open Campus.
All right, so we have Bahamas and we have St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So why did you choose the UWI Open Campus to pursue your studies, Suzanne?
Actually, I had in mind to do studies, sometime in the future. I never thought I would have really started the time I started. And I was looking on the internet for a number of universities, see which is the best choice. And I was also speaking with other persons, support persons, and so on. And one of my leader, or one of the person who I would always encourage me, that's Dr. Godwin James. He would have mentioned to me about the UWI. Why not try UWI? Because while looking some of the costs and so on overseas, and he said, why not try UWI? And I said, I never thought of it. So I went and I did some research. And actually, I said, you know what? I don't even have any money to apply to UWI. But I had another friend who came to visit me in Union Island, and I told him I am interested in applying to UWI. And I don't know how to go about doing that. And he actually showed me the entire procedure, how to apply. And I applied not expecting, to be accepted or anything like that. But when I got accepted, it motivated me. And from there on, the rest is history with the UWI Open Campus.
All right, just before Cherise comes in, I want to say a special good evening to everybody on Union Island. One of my favorite places in the world. I was there just a couple months ago on a short holiday, and I know the people of Union Island are very proud and independent people. So
I was looking at you and I said, I know this face, I know this face, but I couldn't tell.
yes. So special good evening to everyone on Union Island. My friends there, you know who you are. Right. And of course, Susan, when you went on the system and you recognized how easy, how simple this process was, wasn't it? To apply the application process.
Well, I started actually, for me, because I am not that technically savvy, I started and then I realized the young man was here, and then I realized there was so many pages, to be filled, and I saw him doing it, and it was for him. It was quite simple. For me, not that I didn't know what to do, but when as I was filling out the pages, and I realized I still wait. So many pages, but the procedure was kind of straightforward. It's just that it had quite a number of different pages that you had to fill out. So I was very thankful when the young man came and assisted me in that field. I was very, very happy for that.
All right, Cherise?
Yes, just let's go back a bit and just tell us, both of you can tell us a bit about your graduation experience. We know that this was our second year having a virtual graduation, and we just want to get some feedback on how it was for you.
Well, my graduation experience was very memorable for me because my friends and I, my fellow colleagues and I, we came together and did something virtually. But as far as the UE graduation, I did not meet the deadline for the official photos. So I had to do a little something at home, and I didn't meet the deadline at all for that. But I was able to watch the rebroadcast, and they still mentioned my name because I am on Eleuthera, and the main campus is in New Providence. And I would have had to fly in to take the official photos and all, but the timing wasn't right. So I did something at home, but I was still able to watch the graduation ceremony virtually because I was out of country that weekend, but I watched it virtually. And my classmates, we had our group chats, and we had our own graduation in our WhatsApp chats, so it was a rewarding experience. It was bittersweet. I was more of the attitude. I hate to see you go, Yui, but I gotta get out of here. Because it was time for me to move forward with my life and free up some time for my businesses, with entrepreneurship being my major. I was living and breathing my courses from I started. Everything I was doing, everything that Yui was teaching me every semester, I had to face or deal with in my real life. At one point, I needed business funding for my business, and it so happens that was the very semester that we started lessons on business plans, and I got that funding.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
So that's just one thing that I could say, and so many other things, but that's just one thing I had to point out.
Wow, that's awesome.
Suzanne?
Well, as Lorenda said, I'm living, as we would have mentioned earlier, on Grenadines, and I had to actually travel up to the mainland, St. Vincent, to take a photo. Well, I was really excited, because I think I would have called off the
something at home, and I didn't meet the deadline at all for that.
A number of times.
I was supposed to watch the rebroadcast, and they still mentioned
That was Lorenda. Yes, and I had to call. I would have called a number of times because I was like, nothing is happening, no, nothing taking place. I'm not hearing anything about graduation. I would have messaged Miss Dalrymple, and she said, don't worry, whenever you will get an email and so on. And I was excited when I got the email, and I couldn't wait to go up for that event to take the picture, the photo, and it was a great experience. Just taking the photo in the gong and everything like that. The feeling, I'm telling you, I was very, very excited for that. And even though it was not physical in the sense of me being there with everybody else and it was virtual, I was at home. And my family and I, we looked at it and we're very excited. We behaved as though we were physical, shouting and everything like that. So yes, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the experience virtually. Sometimes we cannot have things the way we want all the time. And
Right.
and I understood that. So I made the very best of what I could have in terms of enjoying myself, and even persons that I saw who I would have studied with, never met them face to face. I
Right.
was happy to see them as well. And everybody was like, oh, when I saw my friend, I said, oh, look at, like that. So it was great. It was a great experience for me.
Great, great, great. I want to go back to Lorenda because, she made such a valid point about the relevance of what she was studying. So Lorenda, tell us exactly what you studied and what do you do as a profession? Let's just bring those two things together.
Well, I studied business management where I majored in entrepreneurship. And as a profession, I am the owner of 3 small businesses. So I'm an entrepreneur by trade. And I wanted to enhance my skills so that I could not just be a small business owner, but eventually become an employer. So I
Right.
needed to find the right skills and the right tools, to just take it from sales and revenue to a corporation. So I'm currently in the process of expanding all 3 businesses, and UE was the thing that I needed to propel me further. Since I've been studying with UE, even my vocabulary has extended. Certain things on financial terms, they don't go over my head anymore. I was able to deal with my, with debt and understand debt and credit and understand how to balance my books and look at what I was losing money. All of these things. I was living, breathing this thing as the courses were set. And if there is such thing as serendipity or the appointed time, that was it for me and UE on this journey.
Wow, that's a great testimonial for the University of the West Indies Open Campus, if there ever was one.
Yeah,
so,
it saved me a lot.
Yes, I'm sure, because otherwise you might have
move away.
Right, you probably would have had to pay a consultant or somebody to do this for you.
Yes.
But here you were getting the experience as you were studying and earning a degree.
Yes, yes, sir.
All right, so I'm going to delve a little deeper. Tell us, you don't have to pay us for the ad, but tell us, what type of business are you in?
Well, I am in a small business consulting. I cater to SMEs, small and medium enterprises, where I offer business licensing service, startup advice. I walk smaller businesses through their business plans. I do business diagnostics. All of these things I learned through UE. All of these things I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to take it further. I learned through UE. My other business is a food business, and because of UE and the business plan, learning how to create my own business plans, I was able to acquire some 21,000 in business funding for that specific business in the midst of the pandemic.
Wow.
And all of the things that I learned in my creation and innovative courses and e-commerce, I was able to apply to my business. And during the pandemic, when I was unable to have customers come to me to pick up food orders, I had ideas on how to be more innovative based on the inspiration I got through UE, and I was able to deliver, have customers order online and things like that. And the third business is the convenience store.
Okay.
And that store was open all through the pandemic because it was deemed essential.
Wow, congratulations to you. And I'm sure my colleagues in APAD in the program management, the program managers who manage this entrepreneurship BSc program must be very proud hearing you speak like this, that, you know, you found that the content was so relevant to your business.
Yeah.
And congratulations to you as well as a young businesswoman, managing not one, not two, but 3 businesses at the same time, and they're all prospering during the pandemic. Great stuff for you, Lorenda. Charisse?
Yes, that was indeed a great testimony. Would you ladies mind telling us a bit more about your overall open campus experience? How was it for you? Suzanne?
Well, it was you know, I think with all studies and so you would never have all smooth. I would have studied. I started studying with UE in 2015. I studied actually for 5 years. My first year, because I really, as I said, from a young girl growing up, my passion is always counseling, you know, and in inquiring about the type of programs that were being offered at UE, I was told that we were not doing counseling at a bachelor's level. But I was encouraged also. I started with psychology. I actually did my first year in psychology. But after the first year, I thought that it wasn't really, you know, it was, yes, you know, I mean, in doing counseling and stuff like that, you need psychology and stuff like all of that. But um, while speaking to Miss Dalrymple, I told her, you know, I was actually, you know, thinking of counseling. That's what I wanted. And then she, you know, she asked me about social work. And I said, but I love social work as well. I didn't know you guys offer social work. And she said, yes. And, you know, she gave me some information in how I can transfer switch my program. And I actually did. You know, I had to wait the next semester to be accepted or so, but I got through. And the next 4 years I did social work, and it was a great experience. And most of it, what I love is that it actually helped me because I am very involved in a lot of things. I am very involved. As a teacher, I have a lot doing in terms of even up at school, my principals would call me. I transferred from one school to the other during the period of my studies, and they would just call me whenever there's a situation to deal with children or parents would call. That helped me a lot in my studies because I would have done 4 practicums, and I had to go to these schools because we don't have a lot of different institutions here on this island. But it really helped. At church, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. I'm an elder at my church. I am the family life director in my church. I'm the Pathfinder director, which is it's a young people's group club that I have. And all of this, my studies at UE, would have really helped me in that. I would have been doing a lot of these before, even started with UE counseling or talking, sharing whatever knowledge I have. But studying with UE during that period of that 5 years really helped me in that light in terms of the knowledge and the practicum. You know, I really enjoyed the practicum, going out in the field. Actually, I was happy that I was able to do all my practicum physically, even though, you know, and then I think the COVID, the pandemic came in at the end, coming down to the end in one of my program that I was doing, a health program, and I had to go to homes of elderlies and different places, and I was able to get that done as well. So whatever experience that I have now, I mean, going about in schools and my talking with my children, talking in the community, there's so much. I am presently assisting parents will come to me and they would ask me to talk to their children, you know, and all of that. It really, you know, I am happy, even though as a teacher, because as I love teaching as well. I love teaching, I love counseling. So anyhow it goes, I'm just, you know, I'm enjoying it. So with UE, sometimes it might have had, one of my challenges that I had though is, you know, maybe being in the Grenadines, and sometimes I might not have that foresight to get to the campus, maybe if there's some technology and so. However, I must confess that I told someone that there's a young man, a technician who worked at UE. I think he's no longer there. That's Mr. David Brown. And whenever I had a problem, a technical problem, I am telling you, I did not feel as though I was far away from the UE. I would call him at anytime. I know Mr. Hines as well. I would have spoken to him a number of times too, but Mr. Brown was like my personal technician. I told him, I said, I'm not paying you, but I could call him. I remember calling him one night, like after 10, because sometimes what happened, my password would expire, and sometimes I try to reset it and I cannot get it reset. I have a sign. Him, I remember calling him one time and like he was playing tennis. And he told the guys to hold on, and I could literally hear them playing and so on. And while he was there, he was giving me instructions of what to do. And I am telling you, I was so appreciative of that. And because of that, it encouraged me to go on. Sometimes I felt at one point, I said, but me able with this thing, you know. But then knowing that there was somebody I could have called upon whenever there was a little technological problem, it was very, very great for me. So in spite of all, I mean, there are other challenges, there are other things I guess we'll talk about later on. But in terms of my actual experience with UE and studies, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all of it. You know, I enjoyed all of it.
Wow. Well, as you said, David is no longer with us, but I mean, I'm so happy to hear the testimony about the service that he provided. And as you said, Mr. Hines is there now in that capacity as well, and just as good. But that is really, really awesome. I'm sure Mrs. Dalrymple and her team at the site in St. Vincent will be happy to take a bow having heard your testimonial this evening. Really, really good stuff. So this has really helped you both in terms of your professional career and your community service, because I know, as you said, you're an Adventist and you're very active in the church, but not necessarily pastorally, but in terms of the welfare and the care of people in the church and in the community. So is there a guidance counselor at your school, or you play that role?
I actually play that role. No guidance counselor at my school, so I play that role, and I'm enjoying it.
All right, social work.
And one of the things that I admire though, even after my practicum, one of the things that really built me too, in my first practicum, when I went at the secondary school, because we only have one secondary school, and I spent 6 weeks. Most of the practicum was 6 weeks and some days, 2 days. And during that time of my first practicum, because I was kind of scared at first, because I'm like, what is it I have to expect? Children have to come to me. Form 5, I had students from Form 1 right up to Form 5 coming to me. But what I noticed is that there are students in Form 4 and 5 who came at the office where I was doing my counseling, and they asked me to counsel them. And I was like, I can't, because the principal, she was the one who would have given me all the names who I would have to see on different time. And I thought they were kicking, you know, I thought they were joking. And they said, Miss, I'm serious, I need to see you and so on. And I said, you're serious? And they said, yes. And I said, well, look, in that case, I'll have to speak to the principal and so on. And she said, no problem. And that experience, that first two of those students who came first, who were not in my program, and I had to deal with them. One was suicidal, and like seriously suicidal. And the other one, he had in his possession, he was thinking of, you know, killing his entire family and then kill himself because of certain things that he think that he was not treated justly. And I was able, I mean, that was an experience for me to deal with. I was like, how do I deal with this? You know, but based upon what I would have learned again from my program, you know, the actual theoretical practice, that part, I was able to take whatever I would have learned in the theory over in my practical. So these young people, they came to me, was leaving after 6 weeks. They didn't want me to leave from the school. I appreciated that. And I realized it was a very, you know, very impactful moment that I had on these students. And it motivated me for the next 3 practicums, because I was like, I can't wait for the next 3, you know. So that was very, very good experience.
All right, awesome stuff. And again, I mean, you came in just in time when you were needed, apparently, in the secondary school there in Union Island to assist those young people. Just to let people know that you can be like Lorenda and Suzanne. Our application for the January intake that is still open. In fact, it normally would have closed today, the 15th of December, but it's been pushed back until Monday, I think. So you can still submit your application over the next couple of days. You can go to www.apply.open.uwi.edu and complete your application and start your UWI journey, as these two young ladies have done, and they have seen the fruits of their labor. They are now holders of BSc, one in social work and one in management with a concentration in entrepreneurship. Cherise Glasgow.
Yes. Ladies, it has been so great to hear about your experiences at Open Campus for the past couple of years as you complete your degree. Can you just, if there's one moment that you can let us know about, what would you say would be the best aspect of your journey? One moment that you can highlight over the years you have been studying.
Just one?
We'll take one. We'll take one.
Okay, let me just say this. Before UE, I knew no one from the Caribbean. I have friends and people on speed dial in every Caribbean country now. So, and I've learned so much about everyone's country because of UE. I've met students from every country. When we were having issues with Hurricane Dorian, they were reaching out to me, so we became more like a family. When the volcano was erupting or a hurricane was hitting, we were corresponding with each other. And I would say that the spirit of friendship and oneness in the Caribbean was never apparent in me because, you know, being in the Bahamas, we're so far up north. But UE bridged that gap for me. And you can't tell me I haven't been to Dominica or St. Lucia or St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I know all of the area codes by heart. You can't tell me I ain't been to Trinidad yet, you know? So I would say that you can't tell me because, you know, I have people there, and as things happen, I get firsthand information. I don't even have to wait for the news anymore, you know? So, and that's one of the things I like to highlight about UE, the spirit of brotherhood and oneness.
Regional integration.
Yes, that's what it was for me.
Wow.
And those friendships are going to be for a lifetime. And in the last year, we realized that, hey, you know, that all of us who are going to be graduating, we're going to be running countries and running corporations, and we're going to be the business people moving forward. So we need to link up and network. So we've been doing that. So if I need an accountant, I know where to find one in St. Lucia. I know where to find an international business major in Jamaica. So UE made all of that possible for me.
Networking.
Mm-hmm.
So Lauren, I'm just putting this out. I want some shares in your corporation, okay?
One day.
All right, Suzanne.
Yes, I could identify with Lorenda with that. However, one of the things that I would never forget though is my final project, my final practicum. I actually did a workshop with a parental workshop, and it really touched me as well. When I had to go through the entire process in terms of I couldn't just decide, oh, I'm going to do parenting workshop. You know, we had to do all of the planning, the proposal and everything like that and so on. And during that time, I also had to do the assessment on the field. So you would go on the field. And I mean, that experience to me, I would never forget. So I had to create my document in terms of before I decided to do a parental workshop, I had to do that assessment or evaluation with the parents to find out. I had a number of different topics, what they would like, what they need, and most persons would have chosen that specific area. So in dealing with that, I was really, really, surprised to see the turnout of the parents. And then I realized that we definitely, in our little island here, on our island, we need that. And the parents that were targeted were those parents who definitely who were reluctant or neglectful, those who you would have seen certain behavioral attitude with their children at school and all of that. And we were kind of worried, myself, the principal, and say, boy, these parents, even when you have reports, these are parents you don't see come, and some of them, they normally say they will come and they won't. But I was very, very surprised during that workshop, parental workshop. The support was very overwhelming. All parents, those who really wanted to be there, those who said that they were coming, they were there every day of that parental workshop. Fathers, I was really surprised to see male in that workshop. I had like about 3 or 4 males in the workshop. We even had fun of it. We laughed and we encouraged them, and it was when that workshop, at the end of the workshop, we had a grand time. We had a lot of food and stuff and drinks and so on in the last, but it was not just that. It was that the parents, they were actually asking for more. They were actually asking, when am I going to do the next one? We need this in the schools. We need this in the community. And it really moved me there at that point. And I realized that this was really, something that is needed in our community. So knowing that whatever I would have done really touched lives, I really felt, yes, I felt that, progress was made, and I was really happy. And UE Open Campus, even with my supervisor that I would have had in the last 2 practicum, the UE would have been the one to get someone to come from the mainland to supervise me, somebody who's qualified or certified in that area. My first 2, I had someone from Union Island they would have had their degree, but not in social work. However, because of the situation that is unique on the island, my tutor for the program at that point accepted that person who would have done health in the health field. She's a supervisor of the entire the clinic and the hospital. But in the last 2 practicum, my other tutor, she said that it must be someone with social work degree, and up. So everybody different, and I had to deal with it. And I think the UE was very responsive. I appreciated getting someone sending down here for the 2 last practicum, and I really enjoyed Miss Janelle George. She was my supervisor for the last 2 practicum, and I loved her. I mean, I still love her. She works at the Boys Liberty Lodge, and she was very, very professional. So that moment there for me, she was even one of the facilitator for my parental workshop, my final project. So it was, that was a moment for me I would never forget. And as Lorenda said, even the friendship presently, I communicate with a number of my colleagues. Some would have completed before me, some are still completing, and we communicate a lot. I even send this flyer to them, and I told them to join in and everything like that. So great moments.
Good stories. One of the observations I want to make with both you and Susan, you and Lorenda, is the fact that you all are from multi-island states, and both of you live on so-called smaller islands in those states. But the important thing is that you are not disadvantaged, because the UWI Open Campus provides such access for you regardless of where you are. 20 years ago, this would not have been possible for a resident on Union Island, or a resident, I forget which island Lorenda said she's from, to pursue a bachelor's degree from the University of the West Indies. But with the Open Campus, access is possible. How cool is that?
Great. That was really good.
So do you find, now that you have done this, are there other persons on Union Island or Lorenda on your island in the Bahamas who are asking, how did you get this done? And how was it?
Yes, I'm hoping that UE puts me on payroll now, because I'm a walking billboard and advertisement for the university right now, especially on this island, especially amongst, mature students.
Right.
You put me on the payroll now for that.
You're chief marketing officer in the Bahamas. How about that?
Yes, and I would say the same thing. I would say the same thing when I was called or emailed to do this program. I said, "Wow, say, wow, we can work with you now to help market this. But I would have spoken to a number of persons on my island even before when I just started the first time. Even though it was a bit challenging for me for the first time, I was excited to share with other teachers and other persons.
Internet is messing up. All right, seems as if we have a little bit of a challenge with Suzanne. But Lorenda, tell us about your experience on oh, sorry, Suzanne, you dropped out there for a brief moment. I don't know if you want to repeat what you said for the last couple of seconds.
You hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Yes, I was saying, even I remember Miss Dalrymple and her team, they came down at one time to just do some ads and so on. And I was one of the person who she called forward to see something on my studies. And when I started to speak on how I am funding my program in terms of me doing my barbecues and doing my, I told other teachers, I say, you all need to get on board, get on the program, even though you might not be able to do a bachelor's degree, there are other programs. And I was like, really? With you, and when I talk about it, I say don't be because when I started, I did not have any fun to start, and that's the truth. I had no fun, but then I said, you know what, let me apply. Yeah. So when I got accepted, it motivated me that okay, you got accepted to UE, so guess what, you have to do something, and I started other stuff. I started doing barbecues, hosting concert. My principal allowed me to fry snacks, bakes, and chicken and sausage roll and pizza. Wow. And all of these
Lorenda,
things.
Here's another entrepreneur.
Yes, literally for the 5 years I've been selling this stuff and having concerts and all of that. And also, I was very grateful, appreciative. I got little assistance from, the ECGC. I was given a bursary from the Teachers Credit Union, and I was really grateful for that. And Ms. Dalrymple would have been an instrument in that. So I will be forever grateful, in that field, to assist in that field. So I tell people, just recently when UE came down again sometime, I tried to get persons from the community. I would have gotten persons to come to join the meeting, to sit in and hear. I actually got one of my church sisters to start the program because she was asking me about what she want to do and something closest, and I get her to start. She actually started with psychology. Within the first semester, she became very frustrated. She's a nurse. She became very frustrated, and she said that, we took her money and she wasn't getting through, and I had to lend. Even though I am not technically savvy, I told her, well, come, let me see what the problem is. I could check the platform to see the navigation, to see what is the problem and so on, Well, she never really came, but she actually stopped after the first semester. I'm still speaking to her, still trying to get her to go.
Okay, let's get her back in there to finish what she has started.
Yeah. So yes, I always advertise.
I think I heard Lorenda. Go ahead, Lorenda.
Yes, piggybacking off what she said, in terms of funding, because when I started UE, all of my businesses were in the startup phase. So money was tight, and you had to stretch it and go here and there. And I said, okay, now I'm gonna do these classes, but I had saved a little something for my courses. But when I passed the first semester, I said, what? I got 2 A's and a B. I passed this. I could do this. I could do this thing. So then the next semester, I said, I'm probably gonna apply for a scholarship because I saw that the Bahamas government had some scholarships. So when I applied, they said that I couldn't get a scholarship because that specific UE scholarship was for subvention. That was for students who were staying in Barbados, Bahamian students who were actually on campus.
Right.
So I wrote an open letter to the scholarship board and I said some things, and be you sure after the summer, I got an email just before the following year, my second year, I got a letter that said, congratulations, you've received a scholarship. Because I said, great. I said, my country hasn't done sufficient enough for me when I was in my 20s. And now that I'm in my 30s and I'm studying, you're telling me that you're only offering UE scholarships to students who are staying on campus in Barbados, but this is open campus. And it would cost me so much as a Bahamian to move to Nassau and all of that. So I said, I need y'all to help me. And then I sent in my transcript and all of that. They awarded me a scholarship. And And before then, they wasn't even giving scholarships to open campus students.
Wow.
So scholarship division,
That's a round of applause.
yes, they made an adjustment just for me. And I feel I wouldn't say that I opened that door. I won't say I opened that door, but I'm one of the first to walk through that specific door regarding getting funding. And annually they would send 4,000 to the school. In fact, the school has the credit for me now. So
Well, I'm sure they could use it for someone else who is probably studying there at the open campus now.
Yeah,
But you have
they
been a
said that they would send
trailblazer.
it back. Yes, they're gonna send it back to the Bahamas government so they could use it for another student. But I really had to push for that. And they said
Congratulations.
just keep your GPA at 3.0 and above. And okay, and I wouldn't let it drop below 3.2 or 3.4, and I was able to complete. So they said it was for 4 years, but I had already completed 1 year, so I had 3 more. So after summer, I had to send another email and said, please do not send another check to UE because I won't be there.
Oh, wow. You're a real mover and shaker, Lorenda. And I'm sure maybe in the future, this scholarship would probably be bearing your name. Who knows? So did any of you guys benefit from, well, you probably didn't need the payment plan after the first year, Lorenda, because
I did need it after the first 2 semesters.
Right. The payment plan, anybody use a payment plan during the time of study?
Me.
All right, there you go.
I used it.
Okay. Charisse?
Yes. So we've spoken about your highlight moments and what you thought to be the best aspects of the program. I know Lorenda would have alluded to her having a daughter. Suzanne can also tell us a bit about her family background. We just want to know, how did you balance your studies with work, with your family, with other commitments you would have had? Suzanne spoke about her church commitments. So just give us some insight into that, just letting any prospective student know that they can also do it.
I love that question. Well, I'm going to be honest. Everybody, most persons who I spoke with or who knew that I was studying, they would ask, community school, church, everybody would ask, how are you making it? Like, seriously. I normally tell people I have 6 children, but it's actually 4 biological, and I had 2 adopted. Well, I have 1 now, so it's 5 of them I have at home, 5. Well, during my studies, it was 6 of them. But it was a bit, I had to, the thing what I admire is that I had strong support from even my children. My first child is 19 now. He's at college in St. Vincent. One is 16. The last 2 girls, 13 and 9. And sometimes when I leave school, especially during my practicum times, I had to, when I leave school, then I had to go and do certain things on the field. And then when I come here, I would just literally drop my bag in one of the chair. I would come straight. It's like as if you were like a robot, like already, programmed. So I would just come sit right here in this chair where my computer would be. And I would just start putting on my computer and try to get, and then children would say, Mommy, you have study, you have class, you have this. And sitting here, while sitting here, I would tell them, come on, get your homework, everybody, get cracking with your assignments. When you finish, let me see it. I will check it after, And then I would say, can somebody make some juice to me, please? Or can I have a sandwich? Somebody can give me a sandwich. And there are times when I would just like sit here like queen, and somebody bringing a glass of water. My husband doing some broth, some fish broth. Somebody was, it was the experience.
Had it like clockwork.
My computer done, my adopted son, he's in the technology field. So I would Franklin, come please check something right here. Check this to me, please, whatever. So it was a moment, even though I was really happy for the online because I was able to still bond with my family and, even during that time. Yes, I know some person will say, but how could you make it? How are you making it? How are you making it? People just couldn't understand how you making it from school. Then you have church and you're like, I have like literally 8 different offices at my church. And then I have home to deal with. And I mean, you just have to know how to balance. You have to know when you try to, I try not to neglect. And there are times when you're just tired and they would understand that. My last girl, she would say, Mom, you're tired. I want to sleep, go and rest. So at one time, what I decided to do is that I changed my strategy. So instead of coming and just come straight to the computer as if I know that, like, that's what I had to do, I would come. If I reach home like about 3:30, 4 o'clock, I would go and get some rest, straight to rest. Because I realized that when I do that, I was able to set up long at nights. When I come in the evening, I come straight to the computer. Anything early after my class, my online classes, I would begin to feel sleepy. So that strategy I would have changed. It was better for me. I would wake up and then I'll get the children do the assignments, get it done and so on. And then after that, I would hit the computer because most classes used to begin like about 7:30. So, I was able to balance there. So it was for persons who are not, and I would say to my friends and them, if you know that you are not able with online, because you have to be disciplined. You have to be disciplined. You have to, for that period of time you're studying, you have to tell yourself that this is what I am here to do. And yes, you have to be able to balance. If you cannot do that, I advise persons go face to face, because eventually it won't work for you. So you have to be disciplined. You have to be on that computer every night. If you leave work to pile up on you, you're going to get frustrated, you're going to get overwhelmed. So it's a matter of balancing and managing your time. So I was able to do that with the strong support of my family and friends. I have very good friends. Sometimes I call somebody if I can't make certain things I do not understand. I would call, and get certain work done and so on. It might be a little more challenging for someone who do not have that strong support, but it was okay for me.
Great. Family support. Lorenda, let me hear your story. How did you cope? You said you have a child.
Yes, I learned to manage. Well, when I started, she was 2. And when I finished, she's 6. So there were times when she would come to me, Mommy, you did your homework tonight? And I said, yes, I did my homework. Because, she has homework. So she said, don't you have homework? And I said, yes, I have homework too. And there were some chaotic times, especially when you have live presentations and you know how important certain classes are. Some classes, okay, well, I could catch the recording for this one, but there were some that you had to be there for. I would have my camera off, my mic off, and have it turned loud, food cooking on the stove, clothes on one side to be folded, she on the other end of the table doing homework, and I'm in class. And when it's time for me to present, I gotta hush the whole house. Now, y'all be quiet because thank goodness I have a spouse that was very compromising. He's very compromising. He was kind of excited and he was right along with me on this journey. So there were days when I said, okay, she's being a little unruly. Could you take her out of the house so I can have peace and quiet? And then he was able to do that. So it's always good to have, you can't do it alone. You need someone to help you, and you need a team. So I wasn't able to do it all by myself because there was so much going on. And the best times I found to do assignments would be 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I must admit that times when I would be submitting assignments at 11:59 and 30 seconds.
11:59. Yes.
Yes. But I got it in.
Press submit before 11:59.
Yes. We have a running joke about the 11:59 thing.
Share the running joke with us. We want to hear it.
No.
Is it 11:59 in Jamaica, or 11:59 in Bahamas, or in Union Island?
That's another thing. I before UB, I didn't understand the time zones. Like even with this meeting, it's 6:59 for me. It might be 7:59 for you. So I learned that through UE, and I said, what is Eastern Caribbean? Who exactly is Eastern Caribbean? And then I learned that, okay, whatever it is in Jamaica, that's what I deal with. And
Okay,
when we
you're
have
in the same time zone as Jamaica.
yeah, when we have daylight saving time, you guys are an hour ahead. It's 6:59 for me, so it should be 7:59 for you. And I learned that through you.
Yui has taught you so much, apart from being a
A
super
lot. I think
entrepreneur
I could. Yes,
and
yes.
the Caribbean's next big corporate giant.
I think I won regarding Yui. I think I won.
You have definitely won, and you have earned your degree as well.
Yes, I did.
All right. I mean, with all of this study and children and family, were you guys able to participate in any of the extracurricular activities in the university, like the guild or sports or anything of that nature?
No, because I'm on a smaller island.
Right.
Like everything was in the city, so they would. I think I participated in one thing that was done virtually. I did that, and probably a game night. They had a game night one time virtually. I participated in that, but it was always going to be too expensive for me to fly into the city and do this, especially during the pandemic, having to get travel visas, COVID tests. So a lot of things I had to sit out. Even here, I missed a lot of weddings, parties, christenings, birthdays because of assignments and me having to focus on my studies. But those things, I can always do those. These are always going to be weddings, parties, and events, social events. But I had to focus on my studies.
All right. Wow. Believe it or not, we only have about 8 minutes to go. Time flies when you're having fun. And this has been really fun talking to you ladies. I mean, you have great stories to tell. Great stories to tell. I mean, the idea of the family support is so important in studying online as adults and
Yes.
studying period as adults, and having the family support, the support of your spouse and your family and your children to bring the water or the juice, or the husband to make the broth. Susan, you're a very fortunate woman. Congratulations, you have a great husband. I'm sure they all relish in your success.
Thank you. Yes.
All right. So what advice would you give to persons who are thinking of starting to study with the open campus or starting study period? I mean, would you send them to the open campus?
Yes. One of the things, as I would have mentioned just prior there, is that once you're doing, well, I would say I know there are some persons who do not really like online, but if it's online, one of the things that you need to take into consideration is managing your time. You need to manage. Some persons do not know how to separate, that social part of it with actually the work, that physical work. So you have persons who would do it online, and they would have assignments, and every activity they want to go to, every activity they want to take part, and then the assignments build, and then they become frustrated and get overwhelmed. So I would advise persons that you manage your time, you make a timetable. I am not I was not like that. I am like, just the person. I'm the type of person who managing is a problem for me. So I could just come and get some things done and so. But when I realized, even some of the advice that the tutors would give and so on, adhering to some of them, you realize it's better, you get things done faster and better when you manage time. And the next thing, what I would say, though, I don't want to take all the talking, is that you communicate, try to communicate with tutors. You don't understand certain things, you ask questions, because the young lady who had gotten to start the program, and she was like, oh, she can't get this, she tried to get this person. But I was even sharing my experience with her, with David and Heinz, and I told her that they're very nice persons, and she confirmed that yes, she would have spoken to Heinz and they were very nice persons. So you ask questions, get clarity, and so on, manage your time, and so things you will get through. For me, it seems as though it's impossible to end but I'm completed. I've completed.
Well, Lorenda, I know you are going to be our walking billboard in the Bahamas. Tell us what message you would have for prospective students.
Not hearing you. Not hearing you.
I would tell them not to delay it any further, but start today, because a bachelor's degree is approximately 4 years, 5 give or take. And if you start today, 5 years from now, you still might not be where you want to be, but you'll have your degree and you'll have the tools you need to take you further in the future. If I was a bit more hesitant, I would never have started. But the time goes by pretty quickly, and you have to make sacrifices. You're always going to be able to party and hang out and go out to dinner. I mean, I lost a lot of friends and a lot of people in my life who couldn't understand a person, who she was everything to us, and then all of a sudden they had no access to me anymore because I was focused on school. So you have to be disciplined and determined, and do not procrastinate, and also focus on your studies. And I would advise anyone to choose UE. Choose UE today, and you'll be set up for life. I'll say that much. It was one of the
Thank you for
decisions
that.
I've made. Yeah.
Thank you for that huge endorsement. Sharice?
Yes. So we just want to thank everyone who participated in the program, our audience, for joining us tonight and making this program a success. We want to thank our two guests, Mrs. Lorenda Johnson and Mrs. Suzanne Charles from the Bahamas and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, respectively. And we also want to say thanks to our technical team in the background, Patrick Johnson, Marcia Reed, and Richard Barth, for making our program a success. We'd also like to take this time to wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Christmas.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas to you, everyone. This is our last program for 2021, and we'll be back with you in mid-January for our first program for 2022. So on behalf of the UWI Open Campus, the principal, the staff, and everyone at the Open Campus, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas. We're still living with COVID-19, so please be safe out there and enjoy yourself while you be safe as well. So thank you very much to everyone who have been supporting Let's Talk Access. And as Sharice already thanked our technical team for doing such a great service to the university and to the region with consistently hosting this program and ensuring that the program goes well. And to our two special guests tonight as well, we want to wish you a special, special Merry Christmas as well, and all the best in your business, or businesses, I should say, going forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, and all the best.
Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
Bye-bye.
All the best.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.
Sharice, are you going to sing Merry Christmas?
No.
Oh, Suzanne, you can sing Merry Christmas while we leave the program. All random. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Same to you. Same to you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All righty. Bye.